Hey everyone, I'm Coral. Welcome back to my channel. This is where we talk about why strawberries have seeds on the outside. Just kidding. This is where I talk about books. And today I decided, well, actually like a week or two ago, I went through my bookshelves again and kind of culled some things. And I'm not very good about that. I keep a lot of things that I probably am not going to end up reading, but like, I'm always like, but maybe I might. So I mighted a lot of books, but I decided to get rid of a good amount, I think, for an UNHAUL. I think I did pretty good. And these are books like I'm absolutely sure I'm never gonna read. I have no interest. I've had some of these for years and I haven't read them, so it's time that they found better homes where they might be more appreciated than my home. So I'm gonna talk to you about these books. All right, I'm gonna come out and say it. The majority of these are young adult because I've been a reader my entire life, but when I was in high school, Twilight came out, and I was so absolutely never going to fucking read that. And if you did and you enjoyed it, I'm so glad for you, but that was absolutely not my thing. And that's kind of when the young adult genre, like, in my opinion, like, became a thing. I know that there are books, like, old fantasy books that are technically now would be categorized as like young adult, I think, because they have younger characters, but I had never heard young adult before Twilight. So I grew up and I never read anything that I thought would be considered young adult because I was just equating that to Twilight in my mind, a book that I was never interested in. But then I made a Bookstagram account like 4 years ago, something like that, and I found out that young adult was more than just Twilight. And so I bought so many young adult books, and over the past 4 years I've read a good amount of young adult, and I found that not all of it. There are still some series that I really enjoyed and some that I'll still read that I haven't read yet. But I think a lot of them just have a really recycled plot. And I've bought a bunch of books that I'm pretty sure have that same old young adult, like the main character is beautiful and doesn't know it, or smarter than everybody else and doesn't know it, and that's what they do. So the first one I'm going to unhaul is Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. I don't know a lot about this except for that I was interested when I bought it. I think I probably got it at Book Outlet. Yeah, because it has a little remainder mark. And I'm never gonna read this. I know I'm not. The cover is beautiful, and I think, I don't even know what it's about because I don't know. I know I'm not gonna read it. I'm sorry. I know you worked hard on this book, probably, Alexandra Bracken. That's another thing. Nothing against these authors. They worked really hard to get their books, to write these books and get them published. And I'm not an author, and I could never be an author. So props to them. I just don't want to read your book. I'm sorry. Next one's also by Alexandra Bracken. It is The Darkest Minds. I know I bought this because it was, I think, dystopian, which I'm interested in. However, I've realized that I don't really like young adult dystopian books because it's just the Hunger Games over again, really. And yeah, I'm just never gonna read this. I thought I might when the movie came out, but then I didn't, and now I don't think I'm going to. Next one is The Winter's Curse by Marie Rutkowski. This is a very well talked about series in the young adult community. I'm not gonna read it. I know I'm not. I also have Bright Smoke, Cold Fire by Rosamund Hodge. Probably not gonna read this. I don't think it has stellar ratings. I can't remember what it's about. I'm not gonna read the synopsis because because then I'm just gonna make excuses on why I should keep these books, you know? So the cover is kind of cool, but I think it could find a better home. Okay, the next two are Daughter of Smoke and Bone and Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor. I actually read Daughter of Smoke and Bone a couple years ago, and I liked it, but I'm just not... It's been years since I read the first book, and I remember a lot of it. I think I could probably read the second one without rereading the first, which is pretty incredible, I think, because I've read a lot of books since then. But I'm just really not interested in picking it up again. I think Laini Taylor has beautiful writing. I think it's very flowery, and it makes you feel nice when you read it. But I just don't, it's just not for me. It's not for me. I also have another part of a series. This is Shatter Me and Unravel Me by Tada Mafi. I wanted to read these because a lot of people talked about them, but I haven't, and there are so many things that that would interest me more than these at this point. So I also have Furthermore by Tada Mafi. I'm also just probably not gonna ever read this, and I think that this could find a better home. All right, next I have The Glittering Court by Rochelle Mead. This I got in a subscription box years ago. Even when I got it, at the peak of my interest in young adult fiction, I never read it. I wasn't really interested in it, so here it is, and there it goes. Okay, next we have Shimmer and Burn by Mary Taranta? I don't know. This also came in a subscription box a while ago, and I actually read the synopsis for this one, and it just seems like a very generic plot where there's like a girl who like might be a princess maybe, and like a boy who probably isn't, or the boy's a prince and she's not a princess. You know, I mean, it's just ad-libs for the same plot line. It's the same Mad Lib filled out with different adjectives and nouns, but it's basically the same thing as everything else, you know what I mean? So somebody else would appreciate this more than I can. I also have Alana by Tamara Pierce. I really wanted to start reading Tamara Pierce's work because she's one of those authors who, I mean, when did this come out? This is kind of older, right? 1983. That's why I wanted to read it, because I like a lot of old fantasy series. That's actually kind of what I grew up reading. I read a lot of Stephen King, and I also read my dad's really old fantasy collection. So this felt like it might feel nostalgic to me if I read it, but I've had it and I haven't picked it up, and I don't know if I will. I saw that my library offers the audiobooks on Overdrive, so if I really, really, really feel like I need to read this series, that's probably how I'll do it. Okay, next is I See London, I See France by Sarah Mlinowski? Sorry, Sarah, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your last name right, but this is a young adult contemporary novel, and those just really are not my jam. Like, it's the least jam of all my jam. So I was never interested in this. It came in a subscription box, and I never for one moment really felt interested in it. So somebody else could definitely appreciate this more than I can. All this book getting rid of really makes me need caffeine. I mean, I know I'm not gonna read these, but it still like kind of hurts my heart to not see them on my shelf for some reason, which is really stupid. I don't know. Oh, my cats are harassing me. Salem, here now, Cloud over. Come here. This is Salem. He's my oldest cat. He's 11. But he doesn't look a day over 4. Look at him. He's so handsome. Okay. There you go. Alright. Next is The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. I really thought that I would read this when I got it. I think I got it, see how long? I think I got it at a thrift store, so it was like a couple bucks, and I was like, I'll read this, and I do believe I read some of it, but not very much, maybe like 20 pages, maybe like 50 pages, and I haven't picked it up since. I've had it for probably 5 years, and I don't feel like, if I pulled this book out of my TBR jar, I would groan, because I wouldn't want to read it, so that means I probably shouldn't keep it. Next is Wink Poppy Midnight by April Genevieve Choke. Oh my god. By April Genevieve Tucholke. This is a beautiful book on the outside. And I think this is about, from what I remember, 3 girls and they're evil. They're evil. They're either all kind of morally gray, or like one of them is a killer or something like that, and that interested me. But then again, it sat on my shelf and it sat on my shelf and it sat on my shelf, and I just don't think I'm gonna read it. And that brings me to another point. I buy too many books at one time, and then I don't read them because they sit on my shelf for so long, and then I lose interest in them. So I need to start buying less books and then reading the ones that I do buy way more quickly. Not like 5 years from now. We'll see how that works. Next, I have The Silent Life. Oh my god, I'm just broken. The Silent Life by A.S.A. Harrison. I believe I also started reading this one and did not get very far into it. I don't really know what it's about particularly because it's a thriller, and I will not read a synopsis for a thriller. I won't do it because it gives too much away. So I don't know what happens in this book or what's supposed to happen, but I don't think I'm going to read this ever. Okay, I also have Pork by Hat. Oh my god. I also have Pork. I'm also getting rid of Pork Pie Hat by Peter Straub. This came in a subscription box. I've never read any of Peter Straub's work aside from what he did with Stephen King and The Talisman. And I don't know if I would like his work. And this, I don't know. Nothing about this seemed interesting to me. It seems like one of those books that's like kind of maybe darker, but like not actually a horror book. And I just don't have any interest in this. It's a Cemetery Dance edition of the book, which is cool, but like I shouldn't keep it just because of that, because somebody might find this at my thrift store and be so fucking jazzed about it, and I'm just not, so I'm sorry, Pork Pie Hat. This is The Alchemist by Michael Scott. Not that Michael Scott. This is in a long series. I thought maybe I would like it. I don't know, because I've never read it, but I shouldn't keep it because I'm not gonna read it, I don't think. It sat on my shelf for a really long time, and I think if I picked it out of my TBR jar, I would probably be upset. Okay, the last one that I am unhauling is Black Hearts by Nicole Castroman. And this is, I think, a female Blackbeard retelling. Yeah, I think this is a female Blackbeard retelling. I still think that premise sounds pretty cool, but I don't think I'm gonna read this. And I can't just keep it around because maybe, like a lot of these books, it's like maybe I'll read them someday, but this one I just don't think I will. So thank you for watching my unhaul. Are these interesting to people? I think I see them sometimes on YouTube, but I don't know. Did I do it right? I don't know. Anyways, thank you for watching. Leave me a comment if I'm making a mistake getting rid of any of these, because boy, you better bet I will correct that. Anyways, until my next video, see you later, alligators.